Back over to you, Becky.
Over to me.
Whatever you have planned.
Wait a minute. This is our plan.
I know.
What?
Oh, I know. But
I'm the plan?
You're the plan.
I don't have a plan.
I thought we were gonna do like a little interview. Like, tell us how you got into it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but that's what I meant. This
Yes.
is our plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So we
Well, you do a much better job with the interviews than I do.
you feel free to jump
Oh,
in because
no.
you always do.
Oh, I know.
So, Sara, how long have you been the Brent?
The
The
Brent?
Brent.
I've been
I was gonna say that's.
The rep for Benartex.
I actually have not been the rep for Benartex for very long. I believe at the beginning of August is when I came.
Did you
with,
rep a different place
I did.
beforehand? And what might that be?
I'm not going
Thy shall rename.
They're gonna
Okay.
remain nameless because of
Contractual obligations.
Yeah,
That's always sounds good
we're
to
just
me.
gonna leave it at that.
All right.
I had to leave the previous company just because of a medical
Falling over, people.
medical situation.
But
And then I got a call from the national sales manager, Jeremy, who called me up and said, we're interested in having you rep for not all of New England, I was
just going to say, do you
so
have
I
a
have
territory?
Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island.
That's a big. So how are you on the road like 5 days a week?
Well, I sometimes and sometimes not. Sometimes I need an office day, and sometimes it depends on when I can get appointments. I can't always secure an appointment every single day.
Okay.
But yeah, I love it.
So like 4 Pines, how often do you try and visit here?
About I'd say 4 times a year.
I was gonna say
times a
the
year.
good reps. Sarah's one of them. We'll see them about 4 times a year.
Right.
Because
Okay.
I don't know how all shops are, but for us, I like to see when you've got the new lines because
Right.
we don't like to buy old lines. Some shops will just buy whatever,
Yeah.
and I have some reps that I'll see once a year, but I tend not to buy a lot from them because half the stuff they're showing me.
Is old.
It's old or it's already been delivered or it's going to be delivered next week, and it just I want the stuff in the future because that's.
So when you walk in, like you came for a regular visit today,
Yes.
correct? Mm-hmm. What do you come in with?
I come in with an entire suitcase full of the new line that I have and some of the old lines and all of the basics
Okay.
that I have. And batiks. I have batiks. I have so basically everything that I have on hand that is not brand new, but things that are also going to be shipping, in July, and some
Okay.
things that are shipping now.
Okay.
So I always come with everything.
But from his standpoint, Brent's standpoint,
Right.
it would be overwhelming to
Well,
see
yeah.
everything that she
Well,
has to offer.
It depends on the shop.
Yeah.
Some people want to see everything that I cater my presentation to whoever I'm going to.
Okay, so how do you cater to Brent?
Well, I can tell you personally. I'll tell you my personal because having been doing this for quite a while, and I
Yeah.
have 2 different styles of reps that come in. I have the reps that want to show me everything. The problem with that is we get started about 9:30, 10 o'clock,
and
it's
interest.
not until 3 o'clock we're actually writing orders.
Right.
And by that time, I am sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've seen
I
it.
would be sick of it too.
Whereas with Sarah, she does a nice job, brings me just the new stuff. We can just go through it fairly quick. Because the way I purchase stuff is I look at the samples or the cards that they've got, and it's usually pretty
Can we
quick.
see some of those, or is that like?
Oh, well, I brought my suitcase back into my car, but I
okay.
certainly,
All right. That's,
well,
Well, if you
hold
wanna run
on,
out, I
wait.
can-
Hey,
Wait.
I think
Okay.
Give me a minute.
that process, I've seen it from afar, but
Yeah.
I don't think most
And I think
customers
it's-
even
and it's-
understand the process.
And it's going to vary from shop to shop. But the way I like to do it personally is I have learned that I don't like to spend a lot of time. Everything that's new, it gets laid out in front of me, so I can see what to choose from. And then from that stack, whenever we get things, as we put the stuff away, I'll separate it out to
she's
stuff
got a nice
that
look there.
I
Right.
separate it out to stuff
Well,
I
you
might
come
be
in with
interested
big cards, right?
I come
yeah.
in with big cards that we have fabric on to be able to feel it.
Okay.
And those are called, they're presentation folders.
Right.
And so we go through that. But I know that
But-
Brent is very,
This-
he is project based.
Yes.
Yeah.
He likes to base on what he's going to
That's
pick
right.
from projects. So I basically give him my sales binder sometimes.
And I'll
we
just-
go through and we'll pick out
And
some of
by
the things.
project base, think what you mean is there's a quilt pattern or
Right.
a quilt.
So-
Well, like the jungle. Let's
A
show
real-
the jungle.
oh,
the
real-
jungle
Yep,
coming in.
this is going to be
Because he does. He likes to say, and here's what you can do with this fabric. Would that be correct?
Yeah, then that's what I,
That is
because the
correct.
problem you
Okay.
have when buying fabrics, you can buy all the fabric you want, but if you don't have a sample from a shop standpoint, people don't get inspired. So you have so the way I've learned to buy is I look at the project and
Yeah.
I'm like, I like this project, let's buy the fabric. And then I'll buy some coordinates that kind of go with it, but we have an idea what we're gonna do with it to get people inspired.
Okay.
Um,
Now, do you ever listen to like a customer that comes in and say, "Hey, I know Benartex is coming out with this, and it's really something I'm excited about getting."
That actually happened to me at another shop the other day, and they were hesitating, and a customer got an eye on it. A couple customers. She had a
Yep.
whole slew of people come in, and they
You
looked
know-
at that fabric, and she was sort of on the
On
fence.
the fence.
And they said, "Oh my gosh, look at that! That's gorgeous!" And they then went for it. She's like, "Okay, put that
yeah,
together."
and I've had somebody, and the thing about it though, a lot of times is because
the
we're
Safari Adventure.
Oh,
So I saw-
that's a win, chicken.
So I
dinner.
saw that pattern, and I'm like, we're gonna order that because I just love the fabric in it.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's something that I know people. This is a panel. I'm
Yeah, there's a
This is
assuming?
a panel,
and
and
there's
then
some-
border stripe,
And there's some
then
good coordinates that go with it.
really
Yeah.
good coordinates.
Yeah.
So, and
That's
it's very
very
unique.
pretty.
I don't know a lot of other companies that are doing a safari like with jeeps and all the animals. So it's
That's
yeah.
very cool. So you thumb through this and get a flavor for a project.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't
And then you zero in on the fabric.
Yes.
right, and I
Um,
don't do this with every.
don't.
I don't because a lot of people just don't. They're not interested in buying. They don't want to do projects. They just want to see what I have, and so
Okay.
therefore, and I do have shops that want to go through everything that I have. Even the older stuff, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are some shops that I'm there for the entire day, and even though I only sell one, I only rep Benartex, and
Yeah. That's
and
the
we
only
just
And,
side.
that's sometimes I
Okay.
feel awful because I'll have a rep come in and just have nothing I'm interested in. I'm
Well,
like, you
it-
wasted your entire day and I bought that.
Well, what are you going to do though?
Yeah.
If it's not something
But-
that's letting you on
No.
fire.
But I think it's important too that you have a good line. I mean, Benartex, Canvas, and
do.
Contempo really
We
have
do.
some nice fabric and a nice
right.
blend.
You
so.
carry a lot of our basics. You carry wave texture.
Again, that goes back to the Mike. Mike was an awesome sales.
Yeah. But we have.
But I would have sold it to
Yeah,
you.
you would have.
Yeah.
You would have
I-
because it was a good.
Because it's just a good product. They have a really good, solid product.
Yeah.
They ship from Rhode Island, so,
So you
that
can
cuts
get it
down.
fairly
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple things we look at when I'm looking at fabric. One is a lot. I prefer East Coast shippers. One of the problems with like Kimberbell, they're coming off of Shank is out of the West Coast, so I don't do. But East Coast. But the other thing is, how easy is it to get replenish my basics?
Right.
Benartex is one of the better companies that when I put in when I need some more wave texture, I can just put it online and it shows up. I don't have to worry. Is it going to be held up for a month? And it comes in, they all get held up, and the next thing I know, I've got $3,000 worth of fabric that I.
So what happens, and this is for both of you actually, when the customer walks in the door, as I might do, and say, "Oh, I just feel like something new, but I don't know what I want to do." I'm not heading to basics at that point. I'm headed to something else.
Yeah, you're
Is
headed
that what
to,
the project?
that's the
Is
project.
that where the project
Right,
things
yeah.
fit in?
Yeah, because a lot of times people see something hang on the wall, or they'll see the pattern. If we have the pattern out, they're like, I want to, they might be inspired to make that specific project, or take that and mix it up a little bit. But I find that having a place to start, I don't know how your creative process works, but for me, when I see something, I might not necessarily say I want to do that exactly, but it gets me working in a direction. To me,
Okay.
that's the hardest
Right,
part.
it's just
Yeah.
a starting point, a jumping off point
Yeah.
in terms of sort of inspiring someone to then look at what's there and make their own thing.
And that's why projects, why I buy based on projects, is because when you're looking at a whole collection of 20 fabrics,
Yeah.
I do it now and again, but it's very rare that I'm going to buy the entire collection because that's expensive. And then there's
No.
not all of them are winners.
Right. True.
So,
True.
And so
I
it's
know.
like,
I know.
which ones do I want? And that's why projects are nice because I can see.
Right, get a taste for.
Yeah, and then I'll buy the stuff for the project and add, like, there's one piece that I really like that I want to add to it.
Right.
Okay.
Like
now,
we did with the
is- Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the forest friends there with the turtles, because
Right,
the turtles
right,
were
right.
in the.
Yeah.
So now, do you see oh, my words are terrible right now. Do you see a trend in color schemes or a trend right now in design choices?
I mean, I think that what I'm seeing a lot of lately is bees and butterflies.
Bees and
That
butterflies.
seems to be a big trend.
Bees
Yeah,
and butterflies.
yes,
And Danny,
What about chickens?
Yeah, we
chickens.
have chickens.
Chickens.
Yep.
There's lots
Yep,
of chickens.
that's a lot. That's also a trend.
Speaking of chickens, did y'all see Juju's sassy chicken sayings? I got them all. I got them all.
Love the chicken.
One that I really like the best, my husband says I can't say on our show, but I'll just say it says, "Hey, I'm just a chicken that likes
The clock?
peckers." I need that on my shirt. Sorry, Brian. I had to say it. I thought it was so funny.
See,
Sassy,
okay.
Cheesesteak mold.
sassy chicken saying. That's another thing I bought, by the way. I went shopping at Juju's.
Oh boy.
That's
Well, we were just
trouble.
having that conversation about, what was the collection? Not Your Mother's
Oh,
Garden?
not your mama's garden.
So anytime I see that.
What is Not Your Mama's Garden? Let's look
we
at Not
didn't
Your
get
Mama's-
it, but here's
Oh,
the
you
thing.
didn't get
No,
it?
but here's the
no.
thing. This
It's
goes
a
back to what you were
beautiful
saying.
collection.
Well, maybe
Okay,
I'll
so
keep
Well,
if-
mine.
you can't have everything.
But
you
if you're
know?
marketing
Yes, you
it,
can.
if you're marketing it as Not Your Mama's Garden,
Yeah.
who's buying that?
I don't know. I don't know what it looks
No,
like.
but
when
if
they
you
look-
say
well,
that,
right.
who's going to buy it?
All right, who was going to buy sassy chickens?
Yeah, but what I'm saying
She's
is,
got sunglasses and pearls
Yes,
on, and she
but
goes,
if you hear-
"Hey, I'm just a
so you hear Not Your Mama's Garden, you're thinking that's going to
high
be.
heels."
It's moms
sunglasses,
that buy it.
pearls.
That's why I don't understand.
Oh, it isn't your mama's garden.
No.
No, it's
kind of a K
I
Facet
don't like the
knockoff.
It
feathers.
does look it, yeah.
Mm.
See, that's why I passed on it. I
Yeah.
like it, but not enough
I
that I
love
bought
it. I love it. But this is, that's the one thing about
Now-
Benartex and Canvas and Contempo is that they really have something for everyone.
So we see.
if that's not your jam, then we have something else that is going to be your jam.
All right, so we know we have butterflies. We know we have chickens. We know we have bees. What
Yep.
about color schemes?
Well, I think that it's going back and forth. Like we have some what I'm seeing right now is brighter colors, but I
Right.
think that has to do with the fact that we're coming into spring. Yeah,
Yeah,
brighter,
bright.
more just poppy colors, and so not saying that
See-
mutes have their place, but I think we're coming out of winter, and I
Yeah.
think that pop
See,
is coming.
Well, this I think is an interesting comparison because this is the exception to the burlap line for
Yeah,
the brightness
it
of the
is.
color. This is the exception of that entire line.
Okay.
This is the rule for the painted canvas. Those type of colors and that kind of pop.
Yeah.
Poured paint.
Poured paint, yeah.
poured,
You know why it's poured paint?
poured color.
Poured color.
I'll tell you why. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, here we go off of
Is
my
poured paint? Do you do
poured
paint?
paint
Yeah.
on my tumblers.
Yeah.
You put the water
Yeah.
in, you put the paint in,
Yeah.
and then you put a glove on really good, and you dunk your tumbler in, and you swirl around, it comes
Right,
out,
it
and
comes
you
out.
never know what it's going
Right.
to come out as. And
Yeah.
that's what it looks
Yeah,
like.
I used to do paint pouring.
See, did you do it on a canvas?
Yes.
Ah, yeah.
Yep. You put it in a cup, and then you
Yeah.
you can do a dirty
It-
cup pour or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. You're
And so
learning
I
how
knew
to
as
do
soon
dirty
as I saw
pours.
this.
Dirty pours, right here.
Dirty
on
pours!
Shenanigans.
Dirty
Yeah,
pours.
Dirty
Dirty pours that like peckers. It's not enough.
Wait, that could have been dirty whore. I'm sorry.
No,
what?
it's dirty pours. It's called a dirty pour. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is very
And it
cool.
comes out very much
Right,
like
and the whole thing
abstract
you want to
and-
get cells, and then
Yeah,
it's very,
yeah,
it is very
all
cool.
right. So that's what it reminds me. That's
Yeah.
why I can
Yeah.
remember that
Yeah.
name.
I taught art for 8 years.
Oh, you did?
Yes, previously to doing this job, I
Oh,
taught art
wow.
for 8 years, eight or
In a
almost
school?
in a school to high school kids. I started out
Oh, wow.
being a photography teacher, and then eventually started teaching art. And we did some paint pouring in class just to experiment.
Do
It's
you
very
still
fun.
play with art?
I don't really have the time
You
right
don't.
now.
And what was your
but
favorite medium before when you did? Did you sketch? Did you draw? Did you paint? Did you-
photography?
Photography, really?
Yeah, I still have my own website for that. So I.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, I
Nice.
do greeting cards and mostly florals and botanicals and things like
Oh
that. But,
wow!
yeah,
And that's your thing,
that's my thing. That's my thing.
isn't that? That's pretty cool.
But
Why
I
are you
love
making
doing.
faces?
Eddie was looking at me, and
Oh.
Oh, are we
I'm
out of
sorry.
time?
No.
Are we going off the rails?
No,
We're
that's-
going off the
No,
rails.
there are no rails. There are no
you.
rails on this
Okay.
show.
Yeah, there are.
Shenanigans.
So that's really interesting. So you had an art background,
Yes.
and now you sell fabric.
Yes.
And so there is an artistic eye
yes.
to putting fabric together.
And my mom is a prolific quilter.
Oh,
But I love to sew. I'm starting to try my hand at sewing my own clothes, and I'm working on bags, doing bags.
bags.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
Nice.
question for
Those
you
are
from a
hard.
sales standpoint. Are you finding, because you probably interact with more salespeople, in
I
general?
actually don't. I
But,
don't.
but I just was wondering,
What?
is,
You want me to ask her if she's married? Are you married?
I am.
Sorry, she's married.
but
Just thought I'd
I was,
clear that up.
I'm just curious because one of the shifts I've noticed, and from a sales standpoint, from a buying standpoint, is the old school sales rep is kind of dying out, and I was
He's
wondering
a
if there's
man who has to make a
yeah,
quota.
and I'm wondering,
Let's
are they
be
starting
honest.
to recruit more of the artist types and getting away from the sales? I don't know if is this something you've noticed, or is this something that I've, because I have noticed personally that the kind of I'm here to sell you stuff isn't the attitude of the newer reps when it comes to buying fabric. They tend to have more of a craft or art background
Yeah.
than a sales background.
I actually don't know the answer to that question. I do know that I think the old I think that the salesy kind of
Yeah.
that's never been me ever. First of all, and so they basically interviewed me and they asked me about my art background, but it wasn't. I think that they're looking for people who are interested in how things go together. So I think that is becoming more of a trend. But I also think that I mean I think you have to be personable to be good at this job because
To put up with Brent.
no.
I don't
I mean,
know if
I
they
think that
picked
you
that
have
up
to.
on
I mean, I
microphone.
really enjoy talking to people. I really enjoy seeing the shops. I think what you create here is such a gift to the community.
Yeah.
You know,
It-
and so
it is.
so to be a part of that, just to even be like present for that, is a joy for me to see what's happening, to see that you're creating this kind of thing, to see expansion, and to see what it's such a gift to the community because you're bringing people together. They're sewing, they're talking, they're
Usually nice people.
Yeah.
usually yes.
Brent actually says we are our own community.
We are
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
commu-
that
Yeah, I
is-
realize. Well, I think it might have been Becky said that we're a community center. We're not a store.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it
I
really-
mean,
it's-
there's an
we're,
aspect
we're
to
a
that.
community center that happens to have stuff for sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it was just something I was wondering because I've noticed kind of a trend because I've been buying fabric now
Right,
for probably
right.
nigh on a decade.
Yeah.
That what we used to get for sales reps were very
Dry.
leftover car salesmen is what some of them felt like.
Well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was
And
my next question.
and I don't mean that to be
Yeah.
derogatory, but there's a definite feel. Whereas I'm noticing Sara is a real good example of what we've been seeing for new reps now because I really think that the sales market itself must be changing dramatically.
Well, it's really helpful because I can go through your store and I can go through other, shops and I can get a sense of what the personality is.
Mhm.
And so then that lets me be able to sort of cater what I'm going to show in terms of what I think is going to do well for the store. And no,
Not this store.
not this store.
No,
No, one section is his, one section is ours.
yeah, but that's she can tell the two
I can
sections.
tell the two sections.
She can tell the two sections,
And the other
and
thing-
I'm gonna go. I want a third one.
I mean, and then I mean, honestly, it doesn't behoove me, for long term, to sell anything to the shop that I don't think is going to do well, because then that makes me look bad as well.
Yeah, and then we don't have the budget to buy more
And you
fabric.
don't have the,
'cause
so,
money's
right,
tied
so
up in stuff that's not
it
moving. Yeah.
behooves me to, now, I really do, I'm not a pushy sales rep, so if somebody doesn't really like something, even though I think it's gonna do well here, I can suggest, but I'm not, I'm not like.
Do you ever
shove it-
go through, when you walk in the store, do you ever go, I got something better for that space. Let me show you what I got, Brent, that will do better than, you're taking up some valuable space with that stuff right there. I got something better for you.
Well, it brings me an immense amount of joy when I walk through a store and I see our fabrics. Well, this morning I walked in and I saw that this was being cut. And that gave me a lot of joy. But when something of ours is being featured and I can see it, like, because I sell it, but a lot of times I don't get to see it until it comes in, like a real. And when I
Being
see it being
used.
featured, it's really.
Yeah, but that didn't answer my question.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Sometimes
I see
you-
that a lot. I do
you
see
go,
that a lot.
"Ugh,
And I'm like,
Man,
I think we can do better than that.
I think you might want to consider
And
this
I don't
for
know-
there.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I
you-
try not
I
to.
was gonna say I don't see that in your personality.
I don't, because I also have very. You have to cater what you're going to be doing to each individual.
But you can
shop.
say something like this. How's that going for you,
I
Brent?
do ask that. But
Just open the
I
door.
don't ask
How's
it like that.
Well, that's collect.
How's that going
No.
for you?
Well, now you can.
How's that
No,
working for you,
I'm
Brent?
not gonna.
You can
I say, yeah. I usually
But-
ask questions like, "What are your customers asking for? What do you seem to be selling out
Well,
of?"
that's one of the interesting things I find too, because every store has its own personality. I think.
Yes.
I mean, you probably see this more than I do.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes I wonder. Well, I'll use Tula Pink as an example. We never sold Tula Pink. I was like, who buys Tula Pink? And then the other Sara Wilmot that I know, same name, so every time we call him,
Wow, that's crazy.
so she calls up and
That's
says, I want to
crazy.
do this project quote. We buy this line for me. And she does fantastic
You
quote.
brought the whole line?
I brought it in specifically for her because I know she does awesome work. That's why we ended up with the homemade collection. And now that we have it, we sell a lot of it.
Right.
But we wouldn't have sold it if we didn't. It's a chicken versus an egg theory.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Are we
Yeah.
not selling it because we don't have it, or we're not selling it because people don't want it?
Right.
And
I
it's
see.
and I think every store has its own flavor. So people
It
I know
does.
people come to this store for the weird Halloween crap.
Yeah.
Because
no, it's
I
not
like-
me,
yeah.
just so you know.
But I like
the
the
aliens, the dragons,
and I know
the
that
skeletons,
we've gotta-
the
there's a-
unicorns.
No,
That's
but
the stuff that I
shops
like, yeah.
are known for
Yeah.
certain things,
That's
and so when you're-
marijuana leaves. Those
Nobody
gummy bears.
ever makes marijuana for themselves. It's always for an uncle or a brother
Hey,
or a
friend.
cousin.
Pretty soon in New
friend.
Hampshire, we're going to be able to walk into the liquor store and get it with our wine.
Nice.
Get a COVID test, a bottle of wine, and the weed all in one stop.
There you go.
Boom!
Live free or die.
Good old New Hampshire.
Well, same with me.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You guys
Oh,
wanna go.
we're getting
oh.
the sign out. I don't know if it's enjoying
Well, no,
myself.
we could talk forever. I don't
Well,
mind.
you said you
Yeah.
wanted to keep them short. That's
Yeah.
why.
No,
not
you're
just that.
right, you're right.
I do have to actually leave a little early today. So.
Yeah. Oh, but this was wonderful. I hope you'll come back.
Oh yeah.
And next time, will you bring
Oh,
your stuff?
I have my stuff. I just brought it to the car. 'cause
I
didn't know-
think-
next time I will have it.
I'm serious because I think a lot of the customers don't understand the process that he
Yes.
goes through to eliminate
Maybe, you know, what would be
other
kind of
stuff.
fun.
So it would be fun to shop.
Well,
a
you're
little bit.
coming back in like August, probably July, August.
July, yeah. I would say like.
So
beginning of
why
July.
we're gonna put this out there for all you watching. When she comes back in July, we'll actually do an hour of buying fabric. You all get to sit out and hang out and watch the process.
Oh, and you can vote.
Ooh, yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
And then
So-
you have some
we
customers.
can put your
when
2
that
cents
gets-
in. That'll be fun.
Yeah, when that gets
Yeah.
closer, we'll plan that out. We might have to do like a total special, like 2 hours. Special.
Okay.
Oh, I don't think anybody wants to see us for 2 hours.
Well, we can
Brent.
keep it entertaining for 2 hours. It's
Nah,
beautiful
I
fabric.
doubt it.
Okay, maybe
I
not.
doubt it.
As soon as I know, when the new summer release will come.
Oh,
is
that'll
coming,
be. See, that'll
I'll
be
call you
exciting.
up.
Yeah.
We'll schedule it,
Yeah.
and then
I
we'll
love
do
it.
we'll
Yeah,
do
we'll
this.
plan on it. Yeah.
I love it.
That's awesome. That'll be
Thank
great.
you so much, Sarah.
Yeah,
It's a
thank
great
you.
joy to have you on
Yes,
board.
it was fun.
Hope you all enjoy learning a little something, something.
Yes. So thank you. for joining us for another episode of Shenanigans with Becky and Brent and with our special guest, Sarah. Join us again next week at this same time. So on, and be excellent to each other.